Lock it 1 second. Let me try to get it. You do all right. You go where you at. Let me try to get the right one. Lock it 1 second. You do all right. You go where you at. I'm trying to get the right one. You do all right. You go where you at. Yes. Because it's not a second camera. I think I did have it right. One little time. All right, let me see. Let me see how it looks. Okay, so they can definitely still see the board. Now, how does it look on your phone?
Looks, I can see it from my phone. It looks wide. Of course, it got a little smaller. You know, you shrunk the screen, but you can see it. You can
Still see it?
it.
Hey y'all let me know if y'all can still see what I'm seeing, all right? I want to make sure y'all can at least see it clear. I know y'all have the well, you know what? Sorry, I like it. That's why I have this the damn. I'm worried about them seeing the board more so. This is why I created this. So like it, so like it. That's on me. But I do want to make sure they can kind of see the board. So y'all let me know. But Shalom Israel with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, starting at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. All right. So this is the Lashawan Qadash class, a very important class to attend, but we're going to get right into it so we can go over the scriptures. We'll be going over the Sabbath service. You know, this is where you're going to learn what we're going to go over. We're going to start in Genesis like we did, but let's get through the alphabet. So first you have your I. All right. Next is you have your Ba. All right. Next you have your Ba. Make sure you guys are practicing and writing this at home too. All right. Correct. Next is you have your God. So how many of y'all downloaded that blue letter Bible? Next is your God. You have your God in the Assyrian and you have your God in the ancient. Did anyone download that blue letter Bible app yet? If you have not downloaded it, you are unprepared for class. All right, you want to come prepared to the Hebrew class. All right, the Lashawan Qadash class. All right, you are unprepared if you have not gotten that app yet. You want to download. It's a free app. All right, it's very free indeed. All you gotta do is go to your app store. All right, Android, Google Play Store. If you're on, you got an iPhone, go ahead and go to your Apple Store. All right, and that's it. All you gotta do is that right there. All right, you can download it right there. It's free, and you get to follow along and to see exactly what I'm breaking down. If you have not downloaded that app, then you're not going to be able to follow along. All right, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand what I'm breaking down, and so I would not be surprised if you are far behind when it comes to the Lashawan Qadash. Next is your high. All right, you have your high in the Syrian, your high in the ancient. You're going to be very, very far behind. You do not want to be far behind in Lashawan Qadash. Imagine being far behind in Lashawan. Imagine being far behind in the scriptures. It's the same thing when being far behind in the Hebrew. All right. All right. It's the same. It's the same thing. You look unwise. You look unprepared. You look like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like that's what you're going to look like if you are not. All right. If you have not gotten that app yet, don't fall behind in the Lashawan Qadash. I cannot express that enough. I cannot express that enough. And for y'all officers out there, okay, most time Christ, that looks real wild. Next is your why. Next will be your why. Got your why in the Syrian and you got your why in the ancient. All right. So for your officers out there too, make sure you're prepared for camp. I hope y'all make sure y'all prepared for camp. I hope y'all hope y'all ask y'all questions on Wednesday to get them breakdowns for your speaking. I hope you're calling Cap or I prefer y'all to call Cap. Cap know how to break down them scriptures. Don't call me, because I'm going to be calling Cap too. All right? I'm going to be calling Cap too, so don't call me. All right? That's a joke. You can call me if necessary. I'll be able to break down the scripture too as well for you. But what you need, all right, that's your why in the Syrian, your why in the ancient, most high crop. But make sure you got make sure you get those breakdowns, all right? Ask your questions in them classes. You have your Zah in the Syrian and you got your Zah in the ancient. All right, make sure you ask questions. You want to ask as many questions as possible. All right, and in the Lashawan Qadash. All right, ask questions. That Lashawan Qadash can be, very useful when it comes to breaking down these scriptures. So you're doing yourself a very great disservice. All right, when you're not studying the Hebrew. All right, you want to be as fluent as possible when it comes to this Lashawan Qadash. All right? That's your Zah. Messiah Christ. Next, you have your Cha. Your Cha. You got your Cha in the Syrian and your Cha in the ancient. Make sure y'all prepared for camp. Your Cha. Messiah Christ. Cha. Make sure you scratch the back of your throat. Cha. All right? Because if you just say Ka, we already have a Ka. Next is your Ta. Your Ta in your Syrian and your Ta in your ancient. I'm crying. Real Torah. Next is your Yah. You have your Yah in the Syrian, and you have your Yah in the ancient. Hold on, correct. Yah. Next is your Ka. You have your Ka in the Syrian, you got your Ka in the ancient. Most High in Christ. Next, you have your love. Most High in Christ. Next, you have your ma. You have your ma. Most High in Christ. That's what a ma looks like. Remember with those mas, all right, and your cuz, all right, in the Assyrian, you want to focus on the Assyrian. You want to know exactly what they look like because most of our records are written in the Assyrian. All right, next is you have your na. Next is you have your sa. And take your time, I get you out. Give the brother some time. God. You got your sa. All right, you got your Sa in the Syrian, and you got your Sa in the ancient. Don't forget to put your name, city, and state too in the live chat. Next is your I. You got your I in the Syrian, and you got your I in the ancient. Next is your Pa. You have your Pa in the Syrian, and you have your Pa in the ancient. Next is your Tazah. You have your Tazah in the Syrian, you got your Tazah in the ancient. Next is you have your Qua. Next is you have your Ra. You have your Ra in the Syrians, and you have your Ra in the ancients. Next is your Shah. You got your Shah. You got your Shah in the ancient, your Shah in the Assyrian, you got your Shah in the ancient. Next is your thigh. Got your thigh in the Syrian, you got your thigh in the ancient. All right, you can delete what's on the board right now or erase. So we left off on Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 1 and 2. All right, we're going to break it down. Go ahead and break it down. Make sure y'all follow along.
You want to have it in the, you want to write it in the Hebrew,
Come,
read it in the English.
come. All right, let's see who's in class so far. Anybody else? All right, time. Let's on Christ. Make sure y'all put your name, city, and state. Don't forget to sign in and check in. All right. Make sure you guys follow along. Make sure you download this Blue Letter Bible app. I cannot express enough. If you are not downloading this app right here, then you are truly, all right, you are truly doing yourself an absolute disservice. All right. You're not going to be able to follow along. All right, you're not going to be able, all right, all right, to actually read and write and speak the Hebrew if you do not, all right? So it is absolutely imperative. It's absolutely imperative to do such a thing. All right, keep that in mind. Okay, so the first thing, so you got Genesis chapter 1. All right, gotta worry about that later. Let me see. That's fine. All right, so you got Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. All right, so you got Wataza, all right, Hayata. I'm going to read it first before I let you know anything. No sweat. Dahawa, Wa Bahawa, Bahar, so like here, Wa Bahar, Wa Akashak, Al Panya, Dahawam, all right, Wa Raka, All right, so like it, I believe that is Rakah, spirit, right? Rakah, all right, Rakah Alahayim, all right, Marakapab al Panya Hamayim. And so the first thing you want to do is write Arataza. All right, Arataza. All right, so you're going to put wa, and then ha, then Ratasa. You have a wa and a ha, then Ratasa. Now, what you want to know, right? Same thing that we broke down. So if y'all actually see this, all right. Of course, the brother's going to write it on the board, so I'll be teaching him as well. All right. That wa, all right. That is. Let's go back to our notes. All right. We're going to go back to our notes. All right. You have something called Hebrew prefixes. All right. You guys remember your Hebrew prefixes? All right, if y'all remember your Hebrew prefixes, all right, ya meaning he, ha meaning the, ba meaning in, wa meaning and, I meaning I or I am, la meaning to or for, ka meaning like or as, sha meaning who, which, cause, it, ma meaning from. Like all of these play a very important part when it comes to reading and studying the Hebrew. Like you want to take absolute notes on this because when we go back, all right, when we go back to Genesis chapter 1, and you see the wa, and then the ha, then the arataza. You see the wa, then the ha, then the arataza. That's why it says, and the earth. And, that's that wa. See that ha? See that ha right there? That's the. Then arataza, which is earth. Like that's something you want to look into. So now, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, it says, wa ha arataza. Wa ha arataza. All right? Like ha arataza. All right? So what about?
I was trying to find out, see if I had it right. Blue Letter Bible.
Let me see. Let me see.
I was thinking English. I had that right there.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, that's it right there. All right, so now, if you press on the scripture, it should give you, try to press on that too. Let me see. Let me see how yours work. So, like, give us a second. Oh, the phone's also a little frozen.
Oh, yeah. Hit it out. That's probably it.
Yeah, go ahead and hit me out. And then come back in. Now, you too loud. Okay, let's go up and down, though.
It's right. It's just,
And then scroll up and down.
because that works, man.
Okay. Okay. You may have to go to exit out the app and then re-enter the app itself. Let's see. So Waha Arataza, probably what needs to happen. Make sure you guys are following the law. All right, Waha Arataza. You see how important it is? Like these are your Hebrew prefixes right here. Your wa meaning and, your ha meaning the. Wa ha Arataza. All right. Next is you have your hayata. All right, your hayata. All right, you see how hayata. All right, coming from hayat. See that meaning was. I believe I broke that down before. Hayata. I want to say I'm almost positive I broke down the past tense. That is a conjugation. That is a conjugation. All right, that is a Hebrew conjugation. Is it scrolling up and down now? You like completely exit the app, like
I went
swipe.
out and then went back to.
Right. So what I mean by swipe, get out of the app, like you know how you like not delete the app, but you know how you swipe up and it just disappears and you have to reopen it and it opens up fresh start again. I know on iPhone you can scroll through different apps that you may have already running in the background. Take it out of the background by swiping it up and then clicking back into it.
Yeah, that's what I thought I tried to do.
Con. So you have your Hayatah. I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Let's go to, let's see. Yeah. Really? Really? Is this what's happening right now? I'm trying to get to Google and it's not letting me, it wasn't letting me do it at first. All right.
Okay.
See, you got it now?
We came up over here. Favorite is writing note, dictionaries, text commentaries, cross references, translation.
So you see interlinear?
Interlinear, I see that.
Con. So that's what you want to press. It's interlinear. All right. Let's go to Lashawan Qadash class.
First two.
Hold on.
1, 2.
Do I have it as Hebrew class or Lashawan? I have it as Hebrew class. All right. Hebrew tenses. I believe the past tense should be on this one right here. Future tense. I'm just on the other side. I can break it down to y'all from here. Most time cry, shalom, Mark. Shalom, truth. All right, so you see how it says Hayatah? All right, you see how it says Hayatah? Let me break that down for y'all, which means was. All right, so it comes from Hayah. All right, Hayatah comes from Hayah, meaning to be or to become. All right, Hayah. Now to say was by itself. All right. Let me see. I believe. I think I got it somewhere around here. Do I about to? Are you finally able to see it?
No.
Okay, so you okay, con.
So like in red is Hayah.
Right, con. Right,
That's the Hebrew. So
con. So right here, so it's from Hayah. So if we go back, we just go back.
was without form. So the red is Hayah too.
So now when you click on Hayah right here, to say was. All right, to say was, it's a verb, perfect, third person. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. All right, so it's a verb, all right, and it's in third person, meaning, does anybody know what it means to be in third person? Hebrew, all right, third person feminine. All right, does anyone know what that means? All right, anyone know what it means to speak in third person? The third person form of a term refers to a persons or things other than the writer slash speaker and the person being addressed by the writer and speaker. So I'll repeat that. The third person form of a term. Like you want to also kind of know this information. Like the Blue Letter Bible helps you understand how things are written. All right, you're reading, you're probably wondering, oh, why something is being said. Well, because sometimes either you're the reader and you're reading someone who was writing it. So this is not someone speaking it necessarily. This is someone writing. All right. Now Moses wrote Genesis to Deuteronomy. So Moses is writing. All right. Moses is writing. All right. So the third person form of a term, the third person of a term. One of the markers fell. The third person from a term refers. All right. I guess it was on the edge because of the phone. The third person form of a term refers to a person or things other than the writer, speaker, and the person being addressed by the writer. So speaking in third person. All right. Speaking in third person, writing in third person. All right. The writer can be easily talking about other than someone himself. All right. Speaking in like first person. I could be talking in third person because I could be easily narrating my life. All right. You get my point? Everybody understand? That's what third person looks like. So when you see Hayatah, all right, that's in third person, all right, being conjugated by itself. You have your Hayatah, all right, Hayatah meaning was. Then you have Dahawor, all right, meaning without form. Click on it. All right. If you want to be able to write this on the board, Babu Rashad too as well, and so you can have it there to see what it looks like to get practice writing in Hebrew. You can start with Dahao, all right. Dahao, all right, without form. Meaning formless, confusion, unreality, emptiness. All right?
Okay, let's click on it right here.
Da-how. You're cutting it short. Da-how. You're not saying the wa. It's not da-how. It's not da-how. It's da-how. Right? You're cutting it short. Da-how.
We're gonna write in there selected for the root or the word.
You're gonna write. You're writing the actual verse himself, so not the root. You're gonna be writing the verse.
In the English.
You're gonna be writing it in the Hebrew, and then you can put the translator of what it means underneath it. Next, you have your wa, then you have bakao. Ba, it's like not bakao, bahao. All right, meaning void. Bahao, meaning void. Now you see that? See that prefix? Another prefix. Once again, another prefix. That wa, meaning and. You want to be able to take all time in Christ, God. You want to be sure, right, that you are taking notes. You want to be sure that you are practicing and studying the fundamentals of our language. Like this is what's going to help you read and write and speak the language. All right. So you have ba ha meaning and void, wa meaning and ba ha meaning void. So if something is void, is ba. Then you have wa chashak. That wa meaning and chashak, I'm sure it's darkness. Right? Darkness, chashak. Chashak is how you would say darkness. All right, chashak. Chashak meaning darkness. Like the brother Chashak of war. Officer Khashak Award at observed. Khashak meaning darkness. Khan. Khan, you want to also make sure you put the meanings underneath it too as well so that can help you. Alright? Like what arataza meaning, alright? Like wa arataza in the earth was. You know, all that good stuff. Then you have isle meaning upon, isle meaning upon or on, all right, isle. So if you keep in mind, isle, go to the Strong's, isle. This is how you say it, isle. This is how you say it, isle. Upon, on the ground of, according to, on account of, on behalf of, concerning, beside, in addition to. And this is all what it means, above, beyond, over, above, over, up, all that good stuff, upon. All that, meaning isle. Isle means all that. It means all of it. Make sure you're following along in this blue letter Bible. I don't want to, if I lose y'all, I lock you in the bed. You can give it some space if you would like underneath. Are you you do up? So you can still write the meaning underneath if you need it. So. Then you have panya, meaning the face. All right, or face. Panya meaning face. Right, Dahawam. 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 The root, of course, Dahawam. Dahawam. Dahawam, meaning to be deep. Dahawam. Dahawam. Dahawam, meaning deep. Dahawam. Right, Dahawam. Dahawam. You say it fast. Dahawam. 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 I'm just saying it a little faster. But Dahawam. 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 Meaning to be deep. Dahawam. Dahawam. Dahawam is how to say of the deep or to be deep. Dahawam or Dahawam. Dahawam. So far we got Wa'avataza, Hayata, Dahao, Wabachao, Wakashak al Panya, Dahao. So when we're reading tomorrow, you should have this in memory or a gist of what I am saying. Wa'avataza, Hayata, Dahao, Bachao, it's like a Wabachao, Wakashak al Panya, Dahao. Next you have Racha, Racha, Racha meaning spirit. Racha meaning spirit. Racha. So that ra and that wa is connected. So it's ra then cha. Wa meaning and. Racha meaning spirit. Racha. 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 That's how you say spirit. Khan, Salakia, if you could slow down, Salakia, Akim, if you need me to slow down, and Salakia, is that a wa or a ra at the end. Khan, which one? I can go back to it. I believe, were you referring to? Which one? I can go back to. Somebody, you can mute that bubble for shot. I like it. Make it a little lower. So you have Dahawam, Salaki. I know you probably in the process of doing so. Dahawam. We talking about Dahawam? Which one were you referring to? Salaki, if I'm going a little too fast. All right, the third word. So the third word in the sentence. Let's get it. Good question, That is a what? That is a what that you see. That is a what. So the way that you would pronounce that, you're still cutting the ah sound. So it's da hao. Da hao. So if you did not cut the ah off at the end, it would be pronounced da hawa. Da hawa. It would say da hawa. Da hawa. All right, but this word is not pronounced da hawa. This word is pronounced as da hao. Da hao. It's almost like you're cutting off. You're trying to sound out the what without the ah. Da hao. Da hao. You almost cut it short. Da hao. Right? Da hao. Da hao. Da hao. Almost cut it short. So wa arataza hayata da hao wa ba hao, like a ba hao. Da hao wa ba hao wa khashak al panya da hao. So wa arataza hayata da hao wa ba hao wa khashak al panya da hao. All right. Wa raka. That's what we just left off at. Let me know if I answered you correctly. Let me know if I answered your question for you. A younger boy, no sign of Christ. No sign of Christ. Let's get it. So we left off at Rakah. Wa Rakah. So in the beginning it's wa. That's a separate word itself. That's a personal, not a personal pronoun, like it. That is a prefix, a Hebrew prefix, and that wa means and. Now this is a ra. This is a wa, and this is a cha. Ra, wa, and a cha. Come.
I probably got there. I'm gonna have to look at my notes on the phone and get a little more. I'm getting confused looking at these things.
Come, you can take your time out with it. All right, you can take your time with it. You left off. I see that you're at. Let me see. Where are you? Okay, I see. All right, so yeah, Arataza Hayata. All right, you want to change, so you see that you want to distinguish that. So right now, that looks like a ka. All right, but you want to add that line to distinguish it. You want to emphasize that line to distinguish that tha. I mean, that's like you have a tha, that hayata. So you see that hayata? Right now, it looks like hayacha on the board. You want to add that little curve at the end.
Oh no, where is that?
I'll go to the board and I'll show you.
I'm gonna have to.
Yo, God, this is what class is for. I'm gonna walk you through it. This is what class is for. This is why it's important to come to class, even to come to actual class. So you see hayata. Can you point at the hayata? Okay, no sweat. So second word, right there. So and that's exactly the tha. You see that that's a ka that you wrote, but you want to add that little line. All right. So now, with that being said, go to your notes. You can take your notes with you up there too. Grab your notes with you. No, you too hot. Take your time.
I don't even know if I got the right jump. That's what I need to. That's what I was trying to sit down so I could look back and see what I got going on here. Because right now, I'm just copying off the phone.
No sweat.
I don't understand it. Yeah, these are some of the other ones.
So if anyone does not remember, I'm gonna help the brother out real quick. You should have it on your phone, right? There you go. This is what everyone look on the screen when it pops up. This is what a thigh looks like in the Assyrian. All right, you see that thigh? That's why I also emphasize to make sure you guys write exactly what I'm saying and you guys visualize. You see that curve? Like this is how you can distinguish a thigh from a ka in the Assyrian. There's like a curve right there. There's a curve right there. So you see what I'm talking about? So if you go back on the board, go with Rashad, and add that curve on what I'm talking, you see the curve now, right?
Yeah.
You want to add that curve right there. Most High in Christ. Now you have on the third word. That is a tha hao. So that curve is tha and then ha, and that's a good wa. That's a good wa. It's perfect. All right. Now, so like you move over a little bit. Let me see your next word. Wa. You got your wa, your ba, your ha, and then you have your wa. That's fine. Make that wa a little curvature. Like, just like how your other Y is, make that line a little shorter. That looks.
Well, yeah.
All right, that's a ba. That's a what? That's a ha. Now that last one's supposed to be a Y. Kind of make it a little shorter, like you have your other Y. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it too long.
It's supposed to look like that.
No, now that's a ya.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a ya. So now, okay, well, erase that one, the one that you just traced over. And then what you want to do is make it, how can I say, you see how your other one is? Let me show you. Go to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me get my, my thing. Hold on. See? So like it, y'all bear with me. Hold on, y'all bear with me. All right, so now, come on, my damn mouth is messing up. So like it, right now my mouth is doing its own thing. Did it just magically click on something I did not want it to click on? Something else. Now give me a second. Right. Now this is what a wa is supposed to look like in the Assyrian. You see it out? Let me know when you see it. Like this is why it's important to come. This is why we do this. All right. This is exactly why we have the Lashawan Qadash class. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want to happen. This is exactly what I want to happen. So all brothers and sisters know exactly how to read and write the Hebrew. On the sixth word, what is that after the la? Okay, no sweat. I'm gonna go ahead and get it for you out. In 1 second, I got you. But let me know when you see it out. You see it?
Doing the Y.
You see how the Y is supposed to look like?
In the Syrian, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
God, so make it exactly like that. So you see your two Y's up there?
They next to each other, huh?
Well, go right.
Yes.
Right, the two words. Right, there's a word at the end of them both.
when you love it look different.
So, and you know what? Let me point that out.
The wording.
Oh, no sweat. No sweat. It's going to look more typed out. So you can erase that. But some of them are going to look similar with each other. This thing has a mind of its own. Well, no, Salaki, you had wait, Salaki, wait, Salaki, you could be right. Hold on, let me look at the scripture. Was there a one in front of that? That is, there was a one in front of that bar. So you got it right out. And then now at the end, there is a one as well. Now make that wa. You made it. You see that line with the wa that you just did? That's two straights. Make it exactly like the one that you have it. That looks like I can mistake that as a ka. That's supposed to be at the end of a word only. There you go. That's exactly. Remember how that was exactly how it's supposed to be now. Do the same thing at the end. There you go. Reading from right to left. All right. Now put the wa at the end of that as well. There's a wa that goes at the end of that word. Thou, that wa at the end.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you're fine. You're fine. The same word that you're working on.
Yeah, I would have to go back.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Look at my
Blue letter Bible?
No, look at my alphabet so I can know what it is I'm even writing up here. Cause I'm just typing it right now.
Oh no, you're fine. You got the alphabet on you?
I don't. I left my I got the wrong notebook.
Oh no, you dropped. So okay, so let's go back to the word. So if you go back to that word, right? Yeah. All right. So go back to point to the word, the last word that you just worked on. All right. You see it?
Oh.
I'm gonna walk you through it all. Also, that sixth word that you're referring to, right? That aisle, that's an I. All right, and the sixth word, what is that after the la? Okay, there's nothing after the la. There's one before it, which is aisle, but then what you have here is that right there. Ignore that dash. That dash is something completely different. All right, that dash is a part of that Assyrian that garbage that I was telling y'all about. All right, the Lexin, the matrix lectionis and all that right there. All right, forget about all of that. Okay, come. Okay, so let me break it down to you, right? So real quick. By the way, this is exactly what class is for, so don't sweat it out. Yeah. So come here, Slacky. I'm not gonna know what I got to do. So when you have this right here, right? So this is one word itself. So this is a word. All right. This is a word. All right. So now this is supposed to be a what, right? So erase this and make it look like that Y that you have right here. So erase it and make it look like that Y that you have right here. So that's the first word. So right here, this is the first word. All right. Now, of course, technically these are two words, technically speaking, because what is a prefix, which is and. Mm-hmm. All right. So technically, that wa itself is its own word, and then you have your ha. So technically, I made a mistake. Technically, three words in this one section right here. Right. All right. Wa is its own word, meaning and. Mm-hmm. Ha is its own word, meaning the. These are prefixes because they come pre, like right. Before the actual word itself. Then you have your you have your ra, you have your taza. Then put together it's arataza. You understand? So wa ha arataza, meaning and the earth.
Oh, I see it.
And the earth. And arataza means earth.
And the earth.
Right, and the earth. Now you have your second word, meaning was, your ha, then you have your ya, And you have your tha. You have another ha. This is one whole word. Hayatha, meaning was. So, and the earth was. All right. Right. You have the ha. And you have a wa. Now, it's not pronounced the hawa. It's the hawa. The hawa, because that ah sound gets cut off. All right. So it's the hawa. All right. The hawa. Now, don't get it twisted. You're actually learning the most advanced way possible, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not writing it into English, or we're just keeping it characteristic wise, which is what we need to actually focus on and learn. Like this is you challenging yourself, which is wow, I love it. All right, so you have the, ha, then wo. All right, the ha o. All right, that should be without. This should be void. Meaning without something. This is void. All right, I gotta double check that because I think Wabachao could be void. I gotta double check that. Like I gotta remember the scripture. Like the hao. Then it has wa and ba. This is form without form. This is form. Da. This is without form. It's formless. So the word da hao is formless. Then this is void. All right. This is wa. Wa that comes before anything, meaning what? And. So wa meaning and. This is what your wa is supposed to look for. Then you have ba, you have your ha. A wa needs to be right here. So right wa right here.
This is another. This is what?
So this is a wa meaning and. Then there's another wa at the end because
the end of a word.
Well, right. This right here. If you just write the wa and I break it down to you. Above for sure. Perfect. So this wa is an and. This is technically its own word. This is its own section though, because it's connected. They're always going to be connected. So you have your wa, meaning and this is a word within itself. Ba ha means void. So and the earth was formless and void. Of course, it's saying now. Of course, translated into English, and the earth was without form and void. I believe if I go back to it, that's exactly what it's going to say, if I'm not mistaken. You get what I'm saying now? Yeah, you come. So you see how you broke it down? Now if it makes it easier for you to read it, you can also, what will help you too, is if you not translated, but you put a wa, like you spell it out. Wa. If you want to, you can do it this way. You put wa, and put ha underneath, and put ah while you do it. You know what I'm saying? And this will help you. That will also help you read it too, as well. You would like right underneath it. So I'll let you know which one is which, so you can have that underneath. All right, so that can help you at least pronounce it and know what you're reading. Okay, Khan, he's asking about that dash. Okay, Khan, Most High in Christ, Salaki. All right. So now here we go. All right, so now we got the next word out. You have next one that you need. All right, is you see it. We're gonna go back to wa and kashak. And technically we're here anyway. I think also sometimes I stopped right here near this area. So let's do that. So now let me see what you got so far. Right, so now the first letter that you just wrote, right? Do you remember what that is?
Think of what?
Correct. Now put what underneath so you know. That's a what?
Right. Yeah, that's what I gotta identify.
Con.
I gotta look. I guess that's the stuff.
That's correct. That's the thought. Select it. I was wrong. Erase that one. That's actually a ka that you did. No, you didn't have to erase the whole thing. Just erase the thought. Select it. I don't know if you was right. Ka. That's a ka, right? Now, if you look at a tha, you'll see that there is a la.
This actually look.
Right, now that's a ka. You see now if you compare it, right? Now that's a ka. Right, a ka with a C-H-A-A.
C-H-A-A.
Right, a ka.
I'm thinking about the ancient.
Right.
Like
Ka.
three lines.
Right. And that is ka. So C-H-A-A. Ka. So now you see that's what a ka looks like. You kind of see the difference?
Yeah.
They look similar.
Right.
It's easy to make the mistake. Everyone is going to make it when they're first learning. But now, if you go back to the blue letter, all right, you see the difference now. You see how you can see it, right? How it's even written. That ka right here. You see that ka?
Yeah.
You see how it's still straight, but you see the tha. You see that little tiny line that's kind of curving. All right, that's exactly how you distinguish it. Ka. That's exactly how you distinguish it. All right. Now Akim too as well. You're going to run into that. All right, because that's why we hate the Assyrian so much. All right, it's not we hate it so much because it's easier to tell the difference between letters in the ancients.
Sure.
Now that's a shah. So right, shah. That's correct. It's very easy to right. So like several of the ancient letters are easily right. Khan of the you mean Assyrian or ancient? Yeah, I think you meant Assyrian. But Khan, the ancient is very easy, but the Assyrian, Slack is right. The Assyrian, there's a few letters that you will think are the same, but they are not. That's why it's so important, all right, to study the Assyrian. That's why we love the ancient so much, because everything is different in the ancient. There's no way to confuse one letter from the other. But in the Assyrian script, you were like, damn, was that a tha? Was that a ka? I remember I was going back into my notes. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I was taking notes in class. And I had a word all the way jacked up because I was studying the Assyrian script. And I thought a tha was a ka at that time, and I thought whichever was which. And when I completely butchered the word, I come back and look at my notes. I'm like, that's not right. I said, that's not what that is. And so I had to change it in my own notes from 4 to 5 years ago. So it's not an uncommon mistake. All right, it's not. That's why it's so important to come to the Hebrew class so we can iron out the wrinkles. All right, we're just ironing out the wrinkles. We know how to pronounce all these letters. Now it's time to iron out the wrinkles. Well, what's this one compared to this one? It looks kind of iffy. Like, how do you say this word? Like, that's why it's important to come to class. Because when I call you up, when it's time for me to call you up at the Sabbath service, and you looking like, you looking at Chinese, but you're really looking at Hebrew, I'm looking at you like you're crazy because I'm like, well, why didn't you ask any questions in class? Why couldn't you follow along? Why did you ask, I'm going to keep asking, why didn't you ask any questions? Why didn't you ask any questions? Why didn't you ask any questions? You know what I'm saying? All right. So now, so that is a shah. Now for at the end, right up. Now that is a ka, right? But now what I want you to do is how you have it written. Mm-hmm. It's a little too much like a da. You want to shorten that up a little. Ka, there you go. There you go. Ka. And if you want to, for future references, you can make that line a little longer too. And that's a ka.
K-A.
K-A. And that's a ka. Now remember when I was saying it's like the ba and the na look a lot alike unless the na is at the end. Right, exactly, Khan. Absolutely. That is true. Sometimes that could be a little, what now to tell the difference between a ba and a na over time, the na is almost like you cut the ba in half. Imagine cutting the ba in half, and now it's it's equal. It's like a staple. A na is like a staple. All right, it's like it's straight. You cut the ba in half, it's like a staple. But yeah, now for you, right? You have ka up there. Now remember how I was telling you, it's pronounced ka, then to ka. So you see the ka up there, right, with the CHAA. That's why it was so important to. That's why it is important to continue to distinguish them, even how you speak it. You see how easy it is to confuse letters writing it. So imagine how confusing it can get if you're not pronouncing these words correctly, and some brother is trying to listen to you to see if you are hearing it correctly. Another reason why it's so important to come to the Sabbath service is so you can hear the language. All right? Does anybody know a key way? I want to see if anyone paid attention to the last Sabbath service. Can anybody tell me a quick way to learn how to speak Hebrew and how to pronounce Hebrew? What section of the Sabbath service is the best way to learn how to speak and hear the Hebrew? Does anybody know? Does anybody remember what section it is of the Sabbath service that really helps you pay attention to the Hebrew, how it's being said? Does anybody know what part of the section? Before I say anything, I want to see if anyone give Officer Mataza Al Quran a hand. The prayers. Give Officer Yagadar a hand. The prayers. The prayers. It's important to know them prayers. If you want to learn how to speak and write Hebrew, study them prayers. You understand that? Study their goddamn prayers. All right? All right? If you're not some filthy, disgusting sinner, the Lord's going to hear them. The Lord's going to hear the hell out of them prayers. So say them, practice them prayers. All right? You want to practice them prayers. Practice, practice, practice. And then you're going to be able to hear it. Now when you come to the Sabbath service, while the first and second priests are saying what they're saying, all right, you're going to be able to hear it. So now it's almost like I know what he's saying. Like Asha'a, Ayanya, Ahoya, Ba'aya, Ra'a, Isaiah. Like now you're going to, Ra'ain, Yahweh. Like you're going to be able to memorize these prayers. You understand? All right? Psalms 81, Alahaya. All right? All that good stuff. Like you're going to be able to commit these things to memory. All right? You're going to be able to commit these prayers to memory, like the Lord's Prayer. All right? Abba Yahweh. All right? Abba Nawa. Our Father. Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Ayah, Shankar, Yahweh, Malakoka, Daba'awa, Dazaka, Ayah, Ishara, Ratazak. Like you're going to be able to remember these prayers the way they're supposed. Like this is why it's important to come to the Sabbath service. All right? It's important to come to the Sabbath service. It's important to attend and actually listen to. It's also important to come to the Hebrew class. All of this is in the process, in the spirit of building up the nation of Israel. No one else is doing this. No one else is doing it. No one else is doing it the way it's supposed to be done. Everyone else is just being Christian. Only in the we're going to remove it. I'll remove this because I don't know what's going on with the Facebook right now. Let's do it this way. Let's see if you'll. Something going on with the Facebook. An error occurred on Facebook is usually temporary. Yeah, that's weird. Something's going on with Facebook and StreamYard. We're gonna save the changes from here. We're gonna save it. I can add a destination. Well, no, okay. But God, like this is something very important. So let's not deviate from coming to these classes, especially that Hebrew and the Sabbath. All right, Khan. Let's go to the next one. That looks good. That looks real good. All right, next. Next is you want IO. All right, you see it on the IO. That is a I and a la. IO. Verse 2. This is what IO looks like. Now that's it. Now ayo. Now what you have now, that's an I. So what you want to put underneath is I.
Oh yeah. La.
And then a la. And put together is ayo, meaning to be upon or up. All right. I think we're getting close to where the brother left off. Panya. All right. You have a panya. Panya, meaning face. Panya. Panya.
Don't look different on the blue letter. Somehow.
That's a pa. Now right there is a na. Now that's what a na looks like in the Assyrian. That's what a na looks like. Now that's a na that you'll find in the beginning, all right, or a middle of the word. So that's in the middle, all right, or just in between the words, but it's definitely not at the end. Then that the one right there that you just wrote, that's a ya. That's what a ya looks like. And together that's panya. Panya.
How would you write that?
Like in the English, right?
Because I'm saying, so it's pa, yeah.
So panya, right, is not a word. Well, I can't say it's not a word, but so panya, it comes from panyam, right? But they dropped the ma. It comes from panyam, right? You have a word. So if I'm not mistaken, all right, if I'm not mistaken, you have something called pan, all right, and then you have yum, which is pluralizing something, all right. But let me double check that for you, Ak. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, so if we go, so if you go here, I'm sure this word should have all right. So you have panyam. So if you put it right, it's a pa and a na, right? And that pa and a na is connected, all right? And then that makes the pan. And then,
okay, P-A-N, drop an A.
There you go.
Panya.
Then panya, correct. Al panya, that's correct. That's correct. Panya.
So it actually looks like what?
You want to spell it out? Go ahead and try to spell it out.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you want to write it out. P-A-N. And then yeah.
Y-A.
That's exactly how it would be. Panya.
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 Yeah,
Now it says panya.
I didn't see that on the blue letter, unless I might have missed it.
So it may say panyam, and that's the root word, coming from pana. Panyam is plural, but really you just have to say panya.
Yeah, all it has is inflected root in strong language.
God, so you want to look at the inflected, like.
Inflicted.
And you should say a pan and a so panya.
Oh, inflicted. But yeah, I see it, but it don't spell it out like that. I was looking for it. I guess it don't do that.
No, it will not do that.
Okay.
And you're not. So also another thing.
This would be what?
Allah. It is Allah, and that's an I. That's correct. That's an I.
You would spell it just like that.
If you would like to, A-I, then there's an L.
Okay, yeah.
Or you can just, you see that A? Erase that A in the beginning. No, or not there, in how you spell it. No. You see how you just spelled it at the bottom?
Right.
Erase that A there.
can do it like that.
You can write it like that. It's saying the same thing. Aisle.
Aisle.
Right. Same thing. Saying the same thing. The A is just there to let you know that there is a I there. There's technically a I there, but it's pronounced I. Time. If there is something ending with I, which there isn't in this sentence, I'll show you as well on why we can write it like that. All right, but you may not be able to see it right now.
Like Wakashika.
Right, but it's pronounced as Wakashak because you drop the I. So you always want to remember. In most cases, you're dropping the I. Wakashak. There you go. Wakashak.
Or should I put both of these?
If you would like, I personally like to see the both A's. I personally like to see that both A's there. Cha, but it's cha. I like to see the both A's, but I see some brothers just drop that A, but we all know it's a cha. Kashak. I believe some brothers get that from, I believe that comes from the Yiddish at times. When they spell certain words, they don't spell it with the double A, they spell it with the one A. And you know that's a whole different thing within itself. So you wanna know the rule of thumb, right? Is you drop the ah sound at the end. All right. In some cases, not in every case.
Right.
I will teach you the cases when you drop it. All right. So next we have is your tha, then your haom. Now, Salakia. So the aisle is a separate word from what's after the dash. Correct. A whole different word. That's correct. So panya. So aisle is a whole separate word from the panya. You have aisle, then you have panya. They're two separate words. Yes, they are. They are definitely two separate words. Now, 1 second. Salakia. All right, there you go. So like it. Let me make sure about that Lashawan Qadash check. All right, so now you have Da Haon. You have that on the board. Okay, so you see that? So that's good. You identified 2 out of the 4. Well, no. Listen, that's the point of this class. And by you already identifying that already, that already means you're learning. You feel me? So now if you go in between that thigh, after the thigh, all right, that is a ha. That is what a ha looks like. That is what a ha looks like. And then you see that at the end, da hawam. That is a ma. That's what a ma looks like. But at the end of a word, that's what a ma looks like, but at the end of a word. Da hawam. One second. One second. So like I gotta answer this in this chat. get the next one. Salaki, I gotta answer this real quick.
Mm.
Let's get to the next one, which is Rakha. All right, wa, then Rakha, meaning spirit. Let me see if anyone has any questions. And Most High in Christ. So let's get the next one. Rakha.
Mm.
All right, let me see what you got. Let me see. A wa, a ra, and a wa, and a ka. That's correct. Now, let me see. Kai, go ahead. Go ahead. It'll be a wa first, though.
What's the word again? Dahawam.
Okay. So next, so you have meaning. Now that means and the spirit. All right, that means and the spirit.
Right here, Dahawam.
Now dahawam. Now if you don't. Now that I believe that is deep. Deep, meaning of the deep. Yes. Dahawam meaning deep. That's face.
Face.
Panya meaning face.
Yeah, that's right. Alawak Panya. Face. Ow.
Meaning upon or up. Or upon.
Wakashak.
Darkness.
Darkness. Wabaka. Spirit. Deep face upon darkness. Darkness upon face. Deep.
Come. So now, of course, like this is why when you translate to the English, it sounds very choppy. But of course, if you know the English language, you would add like is in certain areas or are and of and all that stuff to make it sound grammatically correct.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Upon the face of the deep.
There you go. Well, it'll be of, right, exactly, of the deep. There you go, exactly. We know that means of the deep, or deep. We know. Spiritually, that's what it means. But of course, our oppressor, he all confused, so he has to put of the deep. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
But we actually would have said darkness upon face deep.
Exactly, something like that. Like, we get that.
Something like that.
Exactly, like, we get what we're saying.
The darkness upon the face of the, yeah, okay. What would come? Okay, I think that's spirit. Oh, okay. And the spirit.
God in the spirit. All right, one time Christ. Next, we're going to get Alahayim. Alahayim.
Let's see. Okay. La, I. Oh, shit. It's like,
Alahayim. Come, Most High Christ. That's exactly what. So, Alahayim. All right, meaning, all right, of God. All right, of God, referring to the angels that the Most High said to do all this work too.
is a prefix for
In this case, Alahayim is a actual word. In this case,
the whole word.
The whole word,
God.
right? God. So now, of course, the more you read and write, right, you're going to be able to distinguish root words. All right, so you're going to be able to understand it. All right.
Kapata. Can't be wrong.
Let me see. All right. Now you have Marakapat. Ma, then Ra, Rakapat. Marakapat. Most are in Christ. Now,
This is meaning in the spirit of God.
come on.
Oh, moved.
Right. Moved. So it comes from Rakap. It comes from Rakap. With a verb, meaning to grow, soft, or to hover. Right? Rakap. The feminine group to brood. By implication, to be relaxed, flutter, move, shake. Where it comes from. It comes from Rakap. All right? So this word Marakapa is its own word that means to move. All right? Next is Isle. Next is Isle. Khan. I thought that might be Rarak. Yeah, so Khan, I understand. I thought that might be Rarak. I do understand how you could get that too, Salakia. I can definitely understand where you could get that. But it's actually Rakah, meaning spirit, Rakah. Because that wa is connected. So it's actually Rakah. All right, if you did not know, it's Rakah. A lot of brothers and sisters have been saying Rawak for years, and Rawak means sweet. Rawak means sweet, but Rakah means spirit. God. Well, now remember, you're writing from right to left, so you can put that aisle all the way over there, technically speaking. God. In the ninth word, God. Right, the ninth word. It's like it, right? The ninth word. I see now. Con, Most High in Christ. Right, there's an I and a La, but together, Io.
I-L. Share that. So we reading from right to left. Darkness. Wakasha. Io. Panya. Dahawa. Darkness. Upon the face of the deep. God. And the spirit of God moved. Waraka. Alahaya. Marakapa. Io.
Most High in Christ. Ayo. Next you have is another Panya. After Ayo, Panya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most High in Christ. And a yonder bar too, if I didn't say yonder bar already, yeah. A yonder bar. And then next up, if you got any room towards the end, to right, you got Hamayim. Next is you have Hamayim. Right, Aha, then Mayim.
Might.
God, Hamayim.
In the middle of the word.
God. There you go. Now you're catching on. But you want to write it the other way, from right to left.
Right to left.
Doing to Wab, but God, from other way around. Let's switch it. You get to Wab.
Might. I forgot how that might look in the middle. I'm thinking like this though. Yeah. Hold on.
Ha, Ka, Ma, Ama. But now you see how the Ma, now this is a perfect example because you see how there's two Ma's there, but one is written differently than the other. Now that's a Ma that you'll see in the beginning of the word or throughout the word. Then you'll see the Ma towards the end. But Hamayim, so there's a Ya there. Right, it will look like that.
Yeah.
Meaning of
Another Ma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the one that's at the end is that. There you go. That's the Ha.
Ma. Yeah. Ma. Mayam.
Shamayim. Yep, meaning of the waters. Or the waters, but of the waters. It's saying of the waters, of course. God. Messiah in Christ. So now y'all know how to say Genesis 1 and 2. All right? So now you guys can know how to read and pronounce Genesis chapter 1 and 2. All right? Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. So now if I ask y'all to read Genesis chapter 1 and 2 in the Sabbath service, all right? Y'all know how to read that fluently. All right? Now, the next 48 verses, I'll let it slide until y'all get better at reading and writing and speaking the Hebrew. All right? But I will not have any excuse for Genesis chapter 1 and 2. All right? Everyone should now know how to read and write and speak Genesis chapter 1 and 2, as if y'all have been taught Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 forever. All right? Genesis chapter 1 and 1 is another one that y'all should pretty much know by heart. All right? Bara'ashah, bara'ah, alahayim, wa'ata arataza. You know what I'm saying? You should know that by heart. You damn near know that by heart, but it's okay if you don't. All right? I'm just messing around. But Genesis 1 and 2, all right? Study that Genesis 1 and 2. Study and just read. All right? If y'all have the basic concept of knowing what these letters look like, all right, and all this good stuff, just keep reading. Everything else is just going to come naturally. Behind Christ. So now with that, Israel, with the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or any other Christian organization. And with that, shalom.